the floor. Now would be a good time to move them towards the center of the tram, and please watch your hands and feet as the tram gates are closing. And this is a real working studio, okay? There's real things filming down there, so get excited. Check. That's probably better, right? Okay, good. Thanks, Danny. Yeah, so there's real stuff filming down there. There's a big commercial that's filming in Colonial Street. It's kind of like a residential suburban neighborhood area. Because those cameras will be rolling, we'll be going through something called a quiet zone. When that happens, you'll see this pop up on your screen. Again, it just means those cameras are rolling and they can't afford my voice, so I'm going to hop off mic. But then once we get through the quiet zone, I'll be able to hop back on and tell you more. When we get closer to that, I'll show you where it is so you can see all the hubbub going around where they're shooting. But for now, it's time to head out. Look to your left and wave bye to your fans that are lining up just to get a glimpse of you leaving. That's so cute. Give them that wave goodbye as you head out. Because y'all are not doing meet and greets. You are too famous and busy. We got to get you down to the lot. As we do so, I'm going to go over some safety rules real quick. First, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, if you drop something of value off the side of the tram, or have any sound or video issues, reach up and grab the red emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it's safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please remain seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. This video is private property, so if at any point during the tour you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, feel required to remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour, and be prepared. The tour today features loud noises, tram movements, fire effects, many water effects. Have your cell phones and cameras up for great photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. And finally, for safety and those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while you are on board. So it is that real working studio down here, right? We got a quiet zone, and you also never know who you're going to see. So don't be shy about having your phones ready for pictures. Actually, now that we left, did y'all see your first celebrity sighting when you got on the tram back there? Did you see who it was? Y'all better stop staring at me back there. No, it is not me. I'm way too shy for that, clearly. The real celebrity is next to me over here. It's your driver. Do y'all know who y'all got here? This is the princess of the backlot. Everybody will be fighting to get on her toes. Please give her a round of applause and say, "What's up, Leslie?" That's right. But don't get too excited. She doesn't have a license. She just loves the movie, so they let her drive the trams anyway. No, I'm totally kidding. Completely licensed. I'm so glad she's here. And I'm glad that my co-host is here. You know who it is. Our master of ceremonies, the host of The Tonight Show. He breaks hearts. He breaks character. It's Jimmy Fallon.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon. Welcome aboard the world's famous studio tour. I know what you're thinking. Why the tux? Well, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary. That's right, 60 years of glitz, glamour, and our own great white shark. As we celebrate our diamond anniversary today, we pay tribute to Universal's past and take you behind the scenes to discover why this studio tour is world famous. So whether this is your first visit or your 60th, get ready for fun, excitement, and an experience like no other.
That's right, everybody. So we're celebrating 60 years, but I'm actually going to kick things off by going even further back from that. We're going to go all the way back to March 15th, 1915. That's when our founder, Carl Laemmle, who also invented Carl's Jr. That part's not true. But he did invite the public onto the studio lot for the first time so guests could watch silent movies being made. Guests could walk from set to set and marvel at the new technology involved in filmmaking. But with the invention of sound and the need for quiet on the set, the original walking tour ended. In the 1960s, under the leadership of company chairman Lew Wasserman and executives Al Dorskin and Jay Stein, the idea of reviving a tour of the studio returned when the Gray Line bus tours originating in Hollywood made a stop at our gates. And then on July 15, 1964, the first of our red and white candy-striped glamour trams took 67 passengers on a 2-hour driving tour of the Universal lot, and the world-famous studio tour was born. We started with 2 drivers, 2 guides, and 1 ticket seller working out of a trailer on Lake Ocean Boulevard. From there, the studio tour expanded with fantastic one-of-a-kind Hollywood elements like the burning house and the rock slide, which were in this area of the lot back in the 1970s and 80s. And today, you are on one of the company's 60th anniversary glamour trams, so it looks just like it did back in the day. It's one of our super trams, but dressed up in throwback style. And the red and white candy striping was originally created by Harper Goff, who is a well-known Hollywood art director and set designer who worked on movies like Willy Wonka and The Chocolate Factory. So when you see the stripes, it really does look like that. He did that for Paramount and was known for all of his fantastical designs. Then in 1983, we upgraded to super trams, allowing us to carry more guests and experience more thrills. And in 2000, we added onboard video, turning the tram into a movie theater on wheels. And in the past 5 years, we've also gone electric because around here there's also a ton of electric trams as well. So the studio tour keeps growing and changing even before you step onto the lot itself. And right now, you're heading into the front lot. This is used to be where the part where I could say, okay, you guys, the theme park is gone. You completely left it behind. But that's not true anymore, because the theme park has kind of bled over right here into Universal City. This is a real city too, by the way. It's not just a nickname. It's got a lot of things real cities have, like that fire station you saw back there, sheriff's station, medical services, even its own zip code. But something that's kind of taken over Universal City are Mario and Luigi, because to your right, that's Super Nintendo World. So if you've already been there this morning or you're going to be there later today, you'll basically be on the back lot, because Mario and Luigi are biggest stars of that movie, 2023 Super Mario Brothers movie. They hang out right inside there. Back in the day for the studio tour before they showed up, this is where you can visit the dressing room of Oscar winner, Lucille Ball. If you know I Love Lucy, please tell me you do. I will cry if you say that you don't. Then you can step into the office of Oscar-winning costume designer Edith Head. Or in the 1980s, this was also the stop of the Preview City, which is where also had a show that was video hosted by Robert Wagner. But right now, you see all these sound stages that have taken over here. And this is where I geek out, because my new favorite show has been inside these to your left at stages 8 and 7. Let me know if anybody watches Bel-Air. It's a reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that's on Peacock. If you remember the original one, it got completely reimagined, so it's much more of a drama now. And then one of my favorite people ever is in it. Her name is Coco Jones. She plays Hillary. And she just got a Grammy this year too, by the way. So all my faves, they keep winning. I'm so excited. And I bring that up because if you see her on the lot today, please let me know immediately so I can just shut up and stare for a minute. And I'm so serious because I have been on a mission. When she is here, along with the rest of the casting crew, this is where they will live, to your left, because this is where they set up base camp for the show, and it's where it all goes down. Even when the stars are like, oh, take me to my trailer, I'm just so tired from being so talented, they go right here. Their trailers get parked. It's also little perk things like the hair trailer, makeup, wardrobe trucks, even something called the honey wagon, which is actually still there. You were driving by it, but there's no honey in there. It's because it's where they keep the toilets. And I found that out the hard way. But here are the stars: Jabari Bacon, Ollie Shillington, who play Will and Carlton in the show. They're actually going to talk to you from right inside that soundstage as you're driving by over there about what you're about to see here on the front lot.
We're leaving the theme park behind and entering the front lot where real Hollywood magic is made. How? Well, inside the sound stages that surrounds us, we can create any kind of environment the script demands. For the past 60 years, studio tour visitors have driven right by these buildings, and inside these walls, the sets from your favorite TV shows and movies have transported audiences.
It looks like a Halloween Horror Nights, everyone.
Even to a palatial mansion in Bel-Air. When we film Bel-Air, we love coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams filled with excited guests as they drive by. So, keep an eye out. You never know who or what you'll see on the studio tour.
So if you're an actor working here on the lot, the first thing you have to do, like when we go to work, is you have to clock in. For actors, it's so much more chill. They show up and they find their second assistant director. So the director's going to have multiple assistants. The first one might be in the soundstage with the director, preparing the set, making sure it looks good for the camera. The second one is going to be in charge of you if you're the actor. You check in, you say good morning. The second AD goes, good morning, go to your trailer. And that's all you have to do. You say good morning, you go to your trailer, that's where like your sides for the day are gonna be. Those are gonna be the scenes that you're actually filming that day. They call those the sides. Then once you got that, you settled in, you'll go to hair and makeup, they'll get you looking pretty. Then you'll get into costumes, so you're looking like your character. And when it's finally time to go film, when they're ready for you, they'll shuttle you maybe over one of these many sound stages that you see here to the right. But before you even show up here for work, there's still a whole lot of stuff that has to get done called pre-production. If you notice Ted the teddy bear over there to your left, wishing us happy anniversary, he's showing you where pre-production goes down. It happens behind him, and all these bungalows you're going to drive by. And this is where they have to do things. All the big production companies move in here to write the script. Then you got to get that script approved, or they say greenlit. Then they have to cast all your favorite actors. If they want Timothy Chalamet to be in Dune 3, you got to talk to agents and managers. They're budgeting. And then another company that has moved into one of these bungalows, if you saw the Minions back there as well, Illumination Studios has their home inside one of these bungalows as well.
In the early days of the studio, these bungalows were used as dressing rooms to the stars of Hollywood's golden age. Now, they're used as offices where some of Hollywood's top directors, writers, and producers work their magic to get a production ready, including my company, Illumination.
Illumination!
At Illumination, we've made some of the most successful animated films in box office history, including Despicable Me, The Lorax, The Secret Life of Pets, Minions, Sing, The Grinch, and the Super Mario Brothers movie. And the team is hard at work again as we launch our next film, Despicable Me 4.
I know you love your dada. Say it.
Yes, of course he loves you. He just doesn't show it on his face or with his body language.
We've had some really good sequences in Despicable Me movies. The heist of the Honey Badger is now officially my favorite. What it comes down to is the emotional throughout, and I believe that that's why these movies have stayed in people's hearts.
I don't talk that much because
Over here, these sounds you see, look, they're filming some more comedies, kind of like Despicable Me, just not cartoons this time. Well, versus Lopez films at stage 25, so George hangs out in there, and then next to it, oh, the wigwags are on. That means they're actively filming inside, so let me go into a quiet zone quick. Okay, so if y'all notice a red light that was flashing on the outside of that soundstage, those are called wigwags. That's to give that there's a show actually filming inside those cameras are on, and that show's called St. Dennis Medical. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later, but I want you to notice on your right some studio tour history. Right now you are seeing the runaway train and the collapsing bridge. So underneath, all the hydraulic beams would split, giving the illusion that the bridge was collapsing. And then on top of it, the runaway train, it was originally located in our western sets. We'll drive by those later. It would come hurtling toward the train and come to a screeching halt right beforehand. These are both retired effects from the studio tour 50 years ago, but they came back out for the 60th anniversary so that you can see them. But right now, you get ready to visit the home of King Kong, so make sure you're staying seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Hold on to your cell phones super close because they're really hard to get back in here. Hold on tight. And then turn off your flashes because you don't want to find your neighbors or the animals because it's time. Put on your 3D glasses.
Glasses on, everybody. We're back to Skull Island.
King Kong 363T.
Let's go.
about to cross the imaginary boundary onto the back lot, where we have exterior set for many outdoor scenes. Over the last 60 years, Studio Tour guests have seen these locations turned into big cities, quiet suburbs, even that guy's hometown. Yeah, that guy. For countless movies and TV shows. This is Universal's Metro Sets.
That's right. Right now we're driving behind all the Metro sets, and if you see all these trailers, this ambulance, that's a picture course. That's not real. It's for the show St. Dennis Medical I was telling you about that was filming inside the soundstage. So it's a brand new show. If you remember the show Superstore, same creators. It's about a comedy about an underfunded hospital. It's got Wendy McLendon-Covey in it, you know, from like Bridesmaids, Reno 911, or the Goldbergs, David Allen Greer, who's also in everything, Allison Tolman. So many people are in it. Hang out in those trailers every day when they're filming, right here next to the Metro sets. One metro area you're going through right now is London Square. Everything in the orange-brown brick is going to be London. It doesn't always necessarily have to be London, though. This was even India in the Mindy project. So you can get your production designer and customize it. You don't have to take it at face value. You can throw brick walls. You can do whatever you want, basically. For Ted Danson's show, he's doing a new show called The Classic Spy. They put brick walls everywhere, kind of covering it and decorating it, lots of flowers all over it. And Ted also just keeps coming back to this a lot because he did a Classic Spy here. They showed Mr. Mayor on NBC. He put in the exact same sounds as that one as he did The Good Place. So it is true. You clearly want to go to a place where everybody knows your name. And he hangs out over here right in the Metro sets as well when he was filming. But right now, it's just St. Dennis Medical was kind of taken over, and that's where they hang out.
Hi, I'm David Allen Greer.
And I'm Wendy McLendon-Covey. And I'm Allison Tolman.
We're on the set of our new hit sitcom, St. Dennis Medical.
You know, they say laughter is the best medicine.
You know, I'd say penicillin's a close second.
Naproxen sodium isn't too good either. Sorry about them. But since we don't have any clips of actual medicine to show you,
That would make for a pretty boring tour.
let's laugh at some of the funniest moments from Universal comedy history.
I'm laughing already.
The new phone back there! The new phone back here! I went to answer the phone. I was gone a second. I came back in. He let himself out of the playpen. He put on Scarface, and he glued his hands to the rum bottle. Okay?
Over here too, I think you see this water. This is known as Park Lake, but also has a nickname of the Hollywood Ocean. And here in 1974 is where we added the parting of the Red Sea to the studio tour, inspired by the classic film The Ten Commandments, which was a Paramount picture. The star of the movie, Charlton Heston, even made an appearance to part the waters for our guests, and the glamour tramps seem to drive right through the lake and give everyone on board a sea-level view.
This tram is overloaded. Tell them they can walk on water. It's part of the tour.
We will not be swimming today, part of the studio tour, so you are very welcome. But in here there have also been exploding water mines, torpedoes, and pop submarines as part of the action in the lake. And it's called the Hollywood Ocean, but being honest with you, to me that is way too small to be an ocean. To me it's giving Hollywood pond. But that's where we're going to use things like camera tricks and scale models, so it looks a whole lot bigger on the screen than it does in person. Y'all probably see these tricks in your daily lives too. If y'all went on a date with somebody you met on an app, out there they were like, yeah, baby, 6'5". Then you met them in person, it was 5'6". They're the same camera tricks that they're using. It worked for Park Lake too, when it had to be the Amazon River and Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was your Black Lagoon. Creature's one of those many classic monsters that you think of when you think Universal. And Universal owes them everything because the monsters put them on the map when they were starting out. They're the backbone of the reason we have this big old studio to tour for over 60 years. So we're going to pay tribute to them because this is where we're headed into their birthplace. They were all born here in Little Europe. Don't get stuck on that name though. Again, it's been so much more than just Europe in here. Places beyond Europe, this world, even beyond this life, because y'all probably noticed that sign as you were pulling in. This is also the afterlife if you watch The Good Place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
We're actually approaching this yogurt shop right here, coming up at Presidential around the corner to your left. They added for the 60th, they added a lot of the different set decorations that they had for The Good Place, so it would look just like you remember it from the show. So right there to your left, It's where Kristen Bell, William Jackson Harper, and Darcy Carden filmed this scene.
I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
And Little Europe has been Europe though in a bunch of things too. You can go back to Around the World in 80 Days, Cinderella, the Brandy and Whitney Houston one, aka the best one. It was even a fictional place too, because if you're a Princess Diaries fan, this is Genovia and the Princess Diaries 2 Royal Engagement when they actually go to Genovia. They use that big open square on your right for part of the parade route. That's called the Court of Miracles. That's the real birthplace of the monsters I was telling you about. But it actually gets that name from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Not the animated one, I love that one too, but wrong theme park. You gotta go to one of the classic Hunchback films, think black and white era. And in that one, to me, they just treat Quasimodo like a monster. He's not a real one. The real ones that were in that court, Creature, who you already saw, the Wolfman, Mummy, Dracula, my favorite, Frankenstein.
When we think of Universal, we think of monsters.
Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein,
The Mummy.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
The Invisible Man,
Phantom of the Opera.
classic films. They're just brilliantly made.
That Frankenstein image, flathead, it's one of the great icons of the world.
That to me was like the essence of the Universal horror film. I was just mesmerized by this movie. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney.
I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie really scaring me.
They still ring in our memories now, and we love them.
Frankenstein's my favorite, but for a weird reason. It's because the actor who played Boris Karloff, they were so protective of what Frankenstein looked like, so much so that he had to wear a bag over his head anytime that camera was not on him and recording. If he had to go to the bathroom, they walked him over with that bag over his head. And it worked so well, at the premiere, people legit fainted inside. So it shows you the power of what keeping a secret can do for a movie. Speaking of secrets, if you remember the studio tour history, that this used to be the part of the earthquake attraction, they closed it down so they could renovate. Well, they fixed it up, and now it's being used by filming productions already, but we just got clearance to come inside from that wigwag light that I was telling you about. So please stay seated while we get to pass through. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times, and hold on to your cell phones. You don't want to drop them in here because they'll hardly get back, because they're going to come back from moving soon. But in here you can see the different working parts of a production. So there's remote hair and makeup stations. These usually aren't the main ones. They'll usually get ready at the hair and makeup trailers. But these are like for quick touch-ups on set if they're gonna add like a scar or something. Okay, I think that was just a trimmer. I think everything's... That is not just a trimmer. Okay, everybody hang on. I'm so proud of y'all because that's not just a hot set. Y'all survived the earthquake, big one. That's right, it's back, baby. This attraction originally opened 35 years ago in 1989. Come on, Taylor Swift. And it just reopened this spring for our 60th anniversary with a complete Hollywood makeover, updating all of the props and movie-making equipment, bringing the set into the 21st century. We're also a little bit past the halfway mark of the tour, so I want to remind everybody to stay seated. The studio is private property, so if at any point during the tour you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. And Earthquake is a great example of something called a practical effect. But it's not like the visual effects we're used to in movies, like a lot of CGI, computer-generated imagery. This is the real stuff, right? Real water if you got wet, real fire if you felt that heat. That's what I love the most when they still use practical effects in movies. You're going to see some some classic practical effects coming up next. So make sure you're staying seated at all times, because I can't help you right over here. I get way too scared. It's because I can't swim. Everybody, y'all have been going through it the past 10 minutes. Y'all survived an earthquake. Now you had to survive a shark attack. So hang on, let me just do a quick body count just to make sure that everybody's even still here. Car 1, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I didn't even count earlier when we left, so I'm just gonna say it's close enough. Cars 2, 3, and 4, though, we can really see y'all's faces for the first time to the right. How y'all doing back here? You still with us? You doing good? Okay, gorgeous smiles and everything. All right, I like y'all. I hope nobody fell in, because I told you I cannot swim and save nobody. No, it's too serious for safety. If you did see somebody fall in there, no, you didn't. Now, coming up next after this is my favorite attraction here. It's a classic one. It was one I was most excited to do the very first time I rode this. So here's the Today Show's Al Roker.
Time for my favorite part of the tour, weather. When it comes to film and TV, it is truly a special effect. In fact, to demonstrate how weather effects are created, we debuted our first major attraction here on the studio tour way back in 1968.
Sorry, buddy.
Welcome to the only part of the back lot with a 100% chance of rain. The flash flood.
So that's right here in this studio tour, you're pulling into Old Mexico. This is where they love to show you how they make it rain for the movies. And not with money. Stop looking under your seats. I'm not Oprah. This is literal rain. Now, it's actually more easy to do than you would think because they use technology that you have at home. They just use sprinklers, but these are a little bit differently here. So take a look right over here, and you'll see them come on in just a second. You'll see what they do that's different. There they go, and they shoot the water up first. That's what tossed out naturally for the camera. And then when you see characters in like a nice summer rain or it's so romantic like The Notebook, it is not, because they film in a downpour every time. It has to be this heavy so that I can pop it up on screen so our eyes can tell that it's rain while we're watching. So you know Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams were leaving that all snotty, looking like wet dogs, not as cute as it looked. So let me go ahead and turn it off so that way we don't get wet. I think it's this button. Or not. Wait, what did that pass? Oh, I'm so sorry.
So everybody will catch you next time.
That's right, Flash Blood's still going strong. And again, it's not just for the studio tour, they use it for TV shows and movies. They used it in one movie that I think deserved an Oscar. I don't